Yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy Michael, and welcome to another episode of the Red Corner on Juego Bonito Pod. Well, gonna change the Juego Bonito TV. Today we're gonna be talking about Manchester United's transfer window activity or lack of transfer window activity. But before we get to that, make sure you follow the Twitter account follow at Juego Pod. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Michael_Griggs26. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well for more content on world football. We're going to be starting up next week with more content based on other teams, not just Manchester United, because it kind of gets boring talking about this football club because they are a detriment to society at this point. But yeah, let's get into it. It's June 24th. Manchester United have made zero signings in the transfer market, and they've made about a bunch of outgoings. Today we had the latest outgoing with Dean Henderson going on loan to Nottingham Forest for the year. No option included um in the signing, in the loan. But yeah, as for incomings, it's just basically been the rumors of Frankie de Jong. He's been linked with about 75 million Ajax players. Eric Ten Hag seems to have a specific kind of player or team that he wants players from. In a way, as he wants to be reunited with a bunch of his former players. But that is what we have scouts for, to find other players from other clubs. But Man United have not done that. I mean, we were linked with Taro Malacia from Feyenoord, but he is also going to Lyon today, which we've been rejected. We're batting zero, and we're just hitting a bunch of swing and misses at this point. But yeah, Frankie De Jong, we'll talk about him first in a way. Started getting linked with him in late April after that FA Youth Cup final, which we won. I think Jar Romero, the Barca reporter, linked us with him. Said 95% done. It was never that close, but that's when you kind of saw the early hints of it. Ever since then, it's just been back and forth poker negotiation between Man United and Barcelona. We're talking about two of the worst negotiating clubs in world football over the last decade. Even though the culprits of that negotiating failures are gone in Joseph Bartomeu and Ed Woodward, Laporta and Murta are not doing any better. And it's been miserable for us United fans to watch these negotiations try to go. It's just every single day you just recycle information. I think we put in about 3 bids now. Barca trying to play hardball. I don't know why they're still broke. I know they had a little economic leverage and all that, but that doesn't really help them for wages and player sales. It just helps them off the field more in terms of their debt. So they still need money to be able to register players and sign more players that they're trying to get to. And for that, they need to sell Frankie de Jong. But apparently, they want to. That club just wants to take every single penny out of us, and United are not willing to budge in those demands because they've been made fools in the market before with Harry Maguire, Alexis Sanchez, maybe Paul Pogba in a way, the 90 million, a bunch of other signings that we've overpaid, and they're trying to change the narrative around the club in a way that they're not trying to get taken as what's it called, as inexperienced in the market in a way. So they're trying to change that, but right now it's not working because they might. I wouldn't be surprised in the end if they just end up budging to the original price and we just played all of this back and forth for nothing. But yeah, Frankie De Jong. Do I think it will happen? Yes, I do think it will happen. I think the fact that Ten Hag is pushing so much for it, and he's kind of told, according to reports, allegedly that he's told the club that he's the main priority. Do not focus on other deals, which I don't agree with, but that's what we've been told by a bunch of reporters. Makes it seem that will be the one deal that gets done. Ideally, I'm guessing Ten Hag wanted the same thing. He wanted him in before preseason starting. Preseason starts on Monday. But I don't travel for preseason to play the games until early July. So they still have a couple. They probably have about a week to get him ready for that. If they can sign him. I thought the deal was gonna get done this week personally, but I guess I was wrong, and it's not gonna get done this week. Today I like to call it Dividends Day because the Glazers have taken their 11 million annual dividend out the club into their own pockets. What they're gonna do with that, I don't know. Maybe pay Tom Brady's bonuses for the Buccaneers. God knows what they're going to spend that money on. Nothing that helps the club, that's for sure. So, yeah, Frankie De Jong, I really hope we sign him, but it's getting to the point where maybe Barca, I don't know, maybe Barca trying to get in other competitors or something like that, trying to drive like a bidding war for him, but no one else is doing that because every other club is just going after other midfielders, and Man United are the only ones that are in for him. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that, but as of right now, I do think that's the one guaranteed deal I'm certain on happening. When it will happen, I don't know. It could take a while. It'll be a whole saga. I wouldn't be surprised. But if it does go into July, I really hope Man United continue out with the pursuit. But they need to start focusing on other targets because we cannot only walk away with one signing. This cannot be a David Moyes summer because we just finished sixth. We had our worst season in Premier League history in terms of point tally wise, and our rivals are our rivals aren't sitting around and waiting for us to make moves. They're going after it. Like City just signed Calvin Phillips today. They just signed a backup DM for when they have the best DM in the league already, while we have 0 DMs. Liverpool has signed Darwin Nunez. Spurs have signed Yes Busuma, Ivan Perisic. I think one other player that they signed. What else? Arsenal have signed Fabio Vieira. They're pretty much almost done with Gabriel Jesus, and Rafinha might join them as well. Chelsea's the only club right now that United could be in the same boat with, as they made 0 signings, but I do think that Chelsea will make a signing soon. I don't know who it will be though. But yeah, Man United to step that up. So yeah, that's pretty much for the center mid for De Jong. In other news, Dean Henderson, like the goalkeeper, like I mentioned earlier, he's gone to Nottingham Forest on a loan for a year. There is no buy option. Originally, there was supposed to be a 20 mil buy option, but I guess United scrapped that because maybe they still think that Dean Henderson has the potential to be the number one in the future. This is kind of going to be similar to his Sheffield United situation, where he's going to be playing for a newly promoted club. We'll see what happens. Also, one thing to take note of is David De Gea's contract does come to an end next summer, so potentially you might see United let Dean Henderson play this year for us. If he does really well, next year you let De Gea leave on a free, and then you just promote Dean Henderson within to be the number one, and then I don't know who the number 2 is, but yeah, that's kind of what I hope. Actually, I don't want either of them. I want Mike Maignan, but United don't know who that is. Apparently, don't know any other goalkeepers in the world except this guy Bachmann from Watford, who might get signed to be De Gea's number 2, especially if Tom Heaton goes out on loan as well. I forgot what clubs were interested in him. I'm not 100% sure, but he might also go on loan, so you might see a De Gea Bachmann goalkeeper do, and Bachmann will play Europa League games as well as other cup games, FA Cup, Carabao Cup. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the goalkeeper situation. Defender situation. If you guys know me, Yudian Timber, that's the player I was really high on. I wrote my article on him and everything. And then he broke my heart by listening to LVG, our number 1 hater in this game, because he hates us. And he basically told Timber, if you go to United, you're not playing for me in the World Cup. So he is a 20-year-old kid in a way. So he probably got a little worried about his spot. And that's another thing that pisses me off about the World Cup being in the winter, is a lot of players are factoring their transfer decisions on the winter instead of long term, because they want to play for their countries in the World Cup, because it is a World Cup. Obviously, that's your dream, to play for your country and represent them and potentially win it. So I kind of get his point from that aspect in a way. So I get it. But could we see United go for him in the winter? Potentially. We're not really known to do winter signings, but except for Bruno Fernandes in a way. So maybe you could see that Ten Hag really push him in the winter, but Ajax are not budging on their price. Actually, they've raised their price on all our targets from them, because the discount code ran out. We used to have a 20% discount, now it's a 0. So we ran out of that. But yeah, I really wanted him because he could play right back, center back, but it's not gonna happen. Other defender targets, like I said earlier, Tyrell Malacia has gone to Lyon today. Fabrizio Romano confirmed it for 12 mil. Is that a deal that we could have done while we're in the young deal? Definitely 12 mil. Could slap that right away to Fairnoon, maybe raise it to 15 if they charge us that much. I think that would have been a quality left back signing. If you guys know me, I hate Alex says. I'm not going to say anything about him. I just don't rate him. And I think selling him and signing on Malacia to pair with Luke Shaw while Fernandez probably goes out on loan for a year or does another year of under 23s would have been a perfect situation. But he's going to Lyon, so that was our main left back target gone. And we're also linked with David Raum. If you guys want to learn more about fullback situations, make sure you tune into Trafford Tunnel later today, where I'll be talking about that on there with Cass, Double A, and my guy from the Natural Thurman Chaza. We'll be talking about there, but David Raum, that's another left back that we've been linked with. I don't know much about him. I just know he's really good. He's a good wing back. So can we see Ten Hag potentially play a 5-back? Maybe. He hasn't coached that, but you never know. He might be evolving into that. Managers evolve their formations all the time, so it could be possible. But yeah, that's pretty much it for defenders. Pau Torres things have kind of died down in a way. We're not really linked with him. I know Samuel Luckers keeps talking about David Carmo from SC Braga as a potential alternative to who? Who did I say? Maybe Timber. Yeah, maybe that was it. That was a potential. Also, Lisandro Martinez as a defender. That's something we've been linked with recently. It looks like it might come down to Arsenal. It's going to come down to Arsenal versus Man United for that. Ajax, I think, had raised his price to 50 million euros. I think it was like at 35 originally. So we'll see. I know Arsenal, once they wrap up their Rafinha, once they wrap up the Gabriel Jesus deal, probably going to push extra for Lisandro Martinez. That's another player I would like to sign. I don't know about 50 mil, but maybe if we can negotiate it down, maybe add a 10% discount from Van der Sar to like 40 million. I think it's a quality signing because he can play three positions. He can play left back, he can play left center back, and he can play DM, which is great. And he also, Ten Hag is his former coach. Ten Hag knows how to play him and where to utilize him in specific areas and specific games. That'd be great. For Arsenal, that would also be a quality signing because their left center back, I think, is Gabriel, and I think Alejandro Martinez is better. Also, Tierney is very injury prone. That guy gets injured all the time, so that's good cover there as well. So that would be a good player to sign. I have heard that United are pretty much, if they're going to sign an Ajax player at this point, it's going to come down to Lisandro Martinez or Anthony, which we'll get to in a little bit. I personally would take Lisandro Martinez because I think he is more needed at positions that we need depth and quality in as opposed to Anthony. But I'll get into that later. Up to the midfield now. Honestly, considering how bad we are in the midfield, our midfieldings are pretty trash in a way. Calvin Phillips, I know, was the original target that United really wanted, but Leeds were never going to sell us to him. We're never going to sell him to us. And he probably didn't want to come due to his ties with Leeds United. I know the two clubs have had deals before, but I don't think either Rio Ferdinand or Alan Smith were as loyal to Leeds as Calvin Phillips is. So I don't think that's ever going to happen. But he also went to Man City for 45 mil, which is a great business for that club. They rarely miss out on deals like that. So good deal for them. As for us, I know we've been linked to Edson Alvarez a little bit. Again, Ajax link. He's the one player that Ajax are really willing to let go at a reasonable price. I think it's 25 million euros. I don't personally rate him that highly. I don't think he's really that good on the ball, but he is physically imposing in a way that is a perfect ideal partner if /when United signed the Young. So at that price, I wouldn't get mad. I'm also desperate to not see Scott McTominay starting for my club. So at this point, I'll take anyone. But yeah, that'd be a great signing. We were linked to Sangare for like 1 day, but yeah, the DM links have been terrible considering how much we need one. Boubacar Kamara, we were linked to earlier in the year. He's gone. Basuma's gone. Phillips is gone. There's nowhere left really. And other center mid and other midfielder options is Christian Eriksen. That is Ten Hag's number 2 priority target behind De Jong. He wants him in. I don't know what the plan is because Eriksen is not a DM, obviously. A pivot of De Jong and Eriksen worries me because that is not going to be work in the Prem. It could work in certain games, maybe, like against a Bournemouth, maybe. I don't know. I kind of rate the promoted clubs this year. Maybe like a Forest I could work against. But, yeah, that would be interesting. Is he going to start at number 10 over Bruno? I know a lot of the Bruno haters automatically think that Eriksen will automatically start over Bruno. I don't think it's that simple because I think Bruno is one of the most popular figures in that locker room, and his personality makes him a key player in a way. Do I agree with that? Not really, but he also just signed a contract extension that made him one of the highest paid players at the club, so he will get his opportunity to start in the beginning. Whether that lasts, I don't know. That's up to Ten Hag. Will the club politics get involved? Because we all know they get involved when it comes to certain players, especially David De Gea. Probably the main reason he's not gone yet. So we'll see with that. But like Eriksen at the club, yeah, I think he's another good player. He could play the 8 and the 10. He can't play in the 6 at all. He can also come off the right. He used to play there under Pochettino at Spurs. He's also a great set piece taker, which we don't really have. If people say Alex Telles, I completely disagree with you because that guy's not good at set pieces. Neither is Bruno. Eriksen has better delivery, and he's also Premier League proven. At Brentford for the last 6 months, he was absolute quality. He was a key reason why I think they were never really in the relegation hunt. They were safe. He got him to safety real quick with him and Ivan Toney and Mbeumo. So he's a quality player. It is down between Brentford and us. Him choosing Brentford would be kind of embarrassing. No offense to any Brentford fan or anything, but that's kind of embarrassing for Man United to get put in that situation. It kind of shows how far we have fallen as a football club. So yeah, that would not be good either. So, but Eriksen, I do think that happens. I think Ten Hag has probably promised him game time. United probably have beaten Brentford's financial package. Eriksen has been quoted to say that he wants a new challenge. So, Man United is definitely a challenge, that's for sure. The only doubt would be game time. I know Ten Hag assures people, but players have always been assured of game time. Donny van de Beek is a good example of that. Excuse me. and he got given no game time. So will um will Erickson really come? We'll see. But I do think I think David Ornstein said he thinks that Erickson will come. Obviously, it's an opinion. But I also do think that he comes, and hopefully he does. I think Spurs are almost out the running now as well. So it's down to Brentford and United, and I would hope that United wins that race. Anyway, and then do we have any more midfieldings? That's pretty much it. Our midfieldings are terrible at this moment. I know we were linked to Vitinha for a little bit last week, but I think that was just agent talk. PSG are almost done with him. I think they agreed to pay the release clause. I think just issues of installments over there. But yeah, that was a player we got linked for like a minute. But that was probably George Mendes trying to gas up his players to get that price up. And then up to the forwards, in terms of links, it's just Anthony. It looks like Ten Hag has earmarked Anthony as the number one priority forward target after Darwin Núñez went to Liverpool, of course. His price is ridiculous. I think Ajax want 80 to 90 million euros for him. That's absolutely mad. Do I think he's a good player? Yes. I'm not excited at the prospect of a Sancho Anthony wing pairing. I don't think it's suitable in the Prem because you got two ball to feet players who will make the runs behind, but that's just me. But if Ten Hag thinks that he could work with that wing pairing, then who am I to judge him on that? But I do think there's better options in the market. I also think there are better options at home in Amad Diallo and Facundo Palencia. I want to see how they go. Obviously, I'll have to factor in Marcus Rashford's potential resurgence. I'm going to say potential. Do I hope he does it? Yes. Will it happen? I don't know. Hopefully he does because that'd be great. That could also see Sancho get shifted back to the right wing, which is where United originally signed him to play before he ended up getting better on the left side. We might see that wing pairing again. Like I said, Ericsson might go out on the wing. Bruno might go out on the wing. You don't know, but I don't think the forward position should have been a priority. I think midfield and fullback should be the priority right now. But United apparently don't want to do that. But I wanted the base fix first. So yeah, Anthony, it looks like the most likely option. I don't think that deal happens. I would be really disappointed in United if they spent most of their budget on two players, especially one I don't think. Does he improve us? Yes. Is it a drastic improvement? No, as opposed to De Jong, who drastically improves us because he gives us a ball carrier in midfield, which we don't have right now. So yeah, that would be terrible. But yeah, Man United so far, if you have to rate their window out of 10, it's obviously 0. We've done nothing. It's June 24th. I know you still got July and August, but the season starts early August. Preseason starts on Monday in terms of training. Games start, I think July 12th is our first game. You would think that United would, after finishing 6th in the Premier League last year, our worst season ever. No trophies out of every competition very early. You would think that they would be ready to just step it up and be ambitious in the market, but we're even less ambitious than we were last year. I think by this point we had wrapped up Sancho. So we were working on the Braun deal after. So yeah, I'm not gonna put blame games on everyone. I'm not gonna blame Murtaugh specifically because I also know who our owners are, and I don't know if they're giving him the money. Obviously we had the illegally recorded interview arrangement with fans and Richard Arnold, which he was recorded without his permission. That came out, and he said that the money is there. I think he said he was quoted at about saying $200 million pounds is available for the club to spend, which is big. That's a lot. I think that I have 150 personally, but he said 200. He says the money's there for De Jong and for other deals. He said Murtaugh's working day and night on this deal. So we'll see. One thing I hear about United is they always make their main targets at clubs that are difficult to deal with. Yeah, Dortmund, they are known to just make sure you pay every single penny that they want. Barcelona are a terrible negotiating club. Whoever else, Leicester, they make sure they get as much money as possible. We don't go to clubs that we can finesse with. So, yeah, that's terrible, and that's just sad. So, yeah, that's pretty much it on that aspect. It's just Murtaugh. I know we just signed Michael Keane's brother to be transfer negotiator. I'm not going to hate on it or like it. I don't know who the guy is. I don't know his credentials and everything, so it is what it is. I know we were linked with Michael Edwards yesterday or 2 days ago. What I love Michael Edwards, the Liverpool guy, what was he, technical director of football? I think he was. What I love him at the club, yes, he's shown that he can find the biggest gems out there in the market and also ignore the manager's like demands in a way for the better of the club. Because if you remember, Jurgen Klopp wanted Brandt and Götze instead of Mane and Salah, and Liverpool's dynasty would not be there if those were the two signings instead of Mane and Salah. So Michael Edwards knows where to find knows where to find gems. And that's my, and I know with United, a lot of people want them to be like Man City where they spent a bunch of money. Can they do that? Yes. Will it happen? No, because United owners do not want to spend that kind of money. So I would rather United act like Liverpool or also have American owners and just be shrewd in the market, find the gems. Also, United are willing to usually spend more than Liverpool. They don't need to buy to sell most times. They could spend the money for their priority targets. And we also are known to not be stingy when it comes to wage negotiations with our players. We usually give them typically. I know Liverpool have an issue with that with Mane and Salah coming up. Mane already left. Salah next year, Trent in a couple of years. So we could be a more efficient on the club than Liverpool in a way because we could spend a little more, and then if we could just find those gems, and there are a bunch of gems out there. League One is a gold mine for midfield talent, but United don't want to go dip in there, so they just want to go after De Jong and all them kind of players. So the talent's available, but United just don't know how to do it. I personally don't know if the scouts are looking for those players and can have found them and United just ignore them, or if our scouts are just not good at their job, which also possible. So we'll see. We have also been reported that that United is ignoring scouts' recommendations for Ten Hag's targets, which I also don't like, by the way. I want to give Ten Hag, like, I rate him really high. I want him and everything. But I don't think the manager should always have should have all the power. If you look at Man City, they bring players to Pep's office and they like tell him this is the player that we found. Do you think you could use him? Do you think you utilize him? Well, I think what Pep does, he tells the owners, the director of football, the profile that he wants, and that's how it works. I think that's what Ten Hag should have done instead of just like also along with the profile of the player. He should just told Murtaugh and Fletcher, whoever else, the profile that he wants in a specific position. Then you use your millions of scouts to go find those kind of players, and then they come back to Ten Hag's office. They give them the player. How do you think? And then do you think we should move on with the deal? That's how a football club should be run, in my opinion. I think that's how most of them are run. But United always go too overboard in one aspect. And other previous managers, it was they let Ed Woodward make all the decisions. That backfired, as we've seen over the last decade. We've been trash. Now they've given Ten Hag all the power, and that's also now working because his profile, like his ID, is just Ajax players that he's already coached. I know sometimes you want to bring one or two players that you've coached before for comfortability with the system, and you want players in the locker room that you want a couple of new players in the locker room that you already know you could trust because he's walking into a locker room where he has no previous relations with any of these players. So, except for Donny van de Beek. So I get that, but we've only been linked with Dutch or Ajax players. So I would like him to find a couple of players that he has no correlation with. That'd be nice. But yeah, but it's June 24th. We'll see what happens. We'll be doing this weekly. We'll be getting back to live next week. But yeah, it's just a quick little recap. And to answer the question in the title, is the season over before it even begins? I'm gonna say if we don't have a signing by that first preseason game against Liverpool, I do think it's over because I do think United are panicking behind the scenes. Obviously, in the media, they're showing a cool front and everything. They're like, "Oh, it's calm. We'll get it done." Yada yada yada. They're panicking a little bit because they have not made a signing. All the rivals, well, the Glazers aren't panicking, but like Murtaugh, Ten Hag, you see Ronaldo. Those rumors today that allegedly George Mendes offered him to Bayern. Bayern said no because they probably can't afford his wages. He's really frustrated. I just hope that it's a message to the board that's like, hurry up, get players in, because he's ambitious. He doesn't want to waste one of his last few years of his career rotting in mid-table and in the Europe. Well, going to be in the Europa League regardless, but not even winning the Europa League, that'd be kind of embarrassing. So if there's one player that can make those owners listen, is Cristiano Ronaldo because of how much he brings to the club, commercial-wise. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I do think they're panicking. and I think I gave them to July 12th to make a signing, but probably two signings because Erickson should be wrapped up. He's a free agent. You don't have to do any fee negotiations. You just give him personal terms. You give it to his agent. He goes to the player, and the player makes a decision. Hopefully, Erickson makes it soon, and then De Jong. I also don't like how United are this insistent on making sure De Jong is their first signing because they want to show that we're in Europa League where we can still recruit De Jong and all that. I don't like that. Just make a signing, announce it, just finish it, please. It's that simple. But this club is not a football club anymore; it's a business. So we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode of the Red Corner, episode 2. In terms of future plans, next week we'll be back to doing live shows. Gonna have a new show called the Transfer Mill, which I'll be doing lives with fans from other clubs and discussing their window. We'll see who we get first, but that's gonna be the plan for next week. And I'll also continue with the Red Corner. More mentioning that news. Hopefully next week we have more positive news and not negative news like we do this week. Hopefully we have a signing done. Maybe De Jong this weekend. Who knows? Probably not though. But yeah. And then for links, make sure you follow me on Twitter. Like I said, I'm Michael_Griggs26. Make sure you follow the pod at JuegoPod. Gonna start tweeting more on there. And then make sure to like, share, subscribe. Also drop in the comments. What do you think of United? Not what do you think of United because it's 0. Do you think United will sign De Jong and Erickson before that first preseason game? Answer that in the comments. Also, feel free to answer just like comment your frustrations about the board and all stuff United. And then also make sure you subscribe to the Trafford Tunnel. I'm there every Friday with my boy Cass, AA as well. We're gonna go live, and this episode will be dropped on YouTube around the same time we go live. But yeah, make sure you guys follow. Make sure you guys follow them on Twitter, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Great content over there. Make sure you subscribe to Never Foul, which is like the parent company of Trafford Tunnel. They do great generic content on there in terms of all the clubs, not just Man United and all that kind of stuff. They do good shows over there. And then make sure you follow United Journal on Twitter for your daily Manchester United transfer rumors, news, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Peace.